Hey guys! Several of you have asked for a video on how I did my home gym cable system, my rickety ghetto COVID-19 workout plan. So I'm out in the garage just going to kind of show you what I did. I went off of the brackets that are up on my garage door opener because they are fastened into studs up in the ceiling. You want something that's going to go into the framework of your house. That way you're not pulling out drywall and such. So you want to double check, make sure that you're going into a secure weight bearing area. And so what I did for the pull down system, I just have some pulleys. This is all stuff I got at Walmart, with a carabiner, and then it's just attached to some cord, and just carabiners. I have several carabiners just tied in for ease of adjusting different places. I want different angles on my workout. So I'm just gonna climb up here and show you firsthand. On my bracket, it just clips in to the bracket that was already there for my garage door. And then so it's just a pulley system, and the carabiners attached to various and sundry things. I have 5-gallon buckets over here full of paving stones. These paving stones, the little square ones, like the 6 or 8 inch square ones, you can weigh them, but they're somewhere around 5 pounds, pretty close to 5 pounds. It really, I mean, we're not being too picky. It's a home gym, so lift what's heavy, right? So the bottom of the cable attaches to the bucket and then comes up through the pulley, and then I've got my various carabiners attached here where I can put my handles. For my handles, I have several different ones. Oops, I should have already had this kind of open and ready to go, but I don't, so excuse my fumbling. Pull that all apart. Okay, so I just took some more of that cable and some old garden hose that was messed up and made some pull down handles. And then those just snap into whichever height you want. If you want to be pulling from a tall height or a low height, you can do all of that, and it just clicks in to my little carabiner here. And then with the pulley, there's your pull down system. It pulls your bucket. And I have 2 of those exact so that I can have one for each hand, and I clip it into the outside holes on the bracket for my garage door. Okay, so that's the pull down system. And then I made separate ones for the pull up system, because you have to run a pulley up high and then you've got to have a pulley down on the ground to be able to pull up. So I took just a piece of plywood and my makeshift bench off of here. Just a piece of plywood. I drilled a couple of holes in the plywood and ran a zip tie through there to attach my pulley to the bottom. And then this board, sorry, noisy, comes right over here and pushes up pretty close to my buckets, depending. And then, so you put your pulley in, and you got to run your cable through, and then one end just has a carabiner that's going to attach to your handles, and then the other end is going to go up to your bracket on the ceiling. Make sure I get it in correctly. So we just clip it in to the bracket here. And then, of course, the other side of that comes down and attaches to your bucket. And for this one, I had to have 2 adjustable places for the bucket, because whenever you're down low, when you're on the handle end of it, sometimes you don't get enough resistance, so you have to have it kind of on the short end of it so that it actually starts to pick up whenever you're pulling on it. I found that there was a lot of give, and so I wasn't actually lifting any weight until I was already halfway up off the ground. So I want more tension on it lower to the ground, so you have to shorten it on the bucket side. So I have two different levels for that. So 2 carabiners there, runs up through the pulley, comes down to the other pulley on my board, and then this just attaches to the handle and you can pull up. I also have, just to show you, I did do so that I can do bar lifting. I have a body bar that I run, but you could just use a dowel stick if you don't have or a broomstick if you don't have a body bar. But so I've got this nice bar, and it's weighted a little bit, which I like, and this just slides on it and then clips in. Like that. And that makes it where I can do, do it on both sides, and then I can pull up the bar on that. I can do some deadlifting, but the main thing is with this board, you have to be standing on it or have some sort of counterweight for the weight that you're lifting. That's the only way the pulleys will stay on the ground. So just make sure that you're, like I have my little makeshift tub bench over here, and I just lay that on the board and I can lay down on it, and it provides my body weight is enough counterweight for what I'm lifting. I have a friend that built his own bench out of wood. He saw my system and built his own system, and his bench, his pulleys are attached to a brace board on the bottom of his bench, which I like. It was really cool that he did that, but I can't, with that system, I can't do deadlifts. I like having the flat board, and then I can just lay a couple of cinder blocks on it for the counterweight and do deadlifts. If my feet, like I usually do some wide footed deadlifts, and so I have to have a counterweight on the board in order to do that. But it's pretty versatile. So I've got 2 pulley systems for the ground one, and I've got 2 of these pull down pulley systems, but I didn't put it all up there for you to show. But it's pretty simple. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck if you decide to make one. Hope you enjoy it. Oh, I did put on the buckets, I did push the handles off to the side, and I put a little bit of a bend. This was flat. Put a little bit of a bend so that whenever you're lifting on it, the carabiner just centers up and doesn't slide around at all on the bucket handle. So that was one thing that I did that I didn't initially do that, and then I had to go do it because the buckets were kind of sliding around and tilting, and they weren't very steady on the lift. And whenever you do that, that makes them where they just lift straight up and down, and it's nice. So good luck. Hope you enjoy. Thanks for checking it out.